So we are coming to a close. Sean Noss, I draw every day because of work. I have to draw something every day. Life of a comic book artist, especially if you're drawing a monthly book, you have to set your own schedules, set your own timing. There might be one day of the week where I don't draw, but for the most part, because it is such a time-consuming profession, you have to draw everything. If your intention is to become a professional artist, you need to get used to drawing a lot. I was actually talking to a young comic book artist. I don't remember if it was on the last stream or if it was in person or somewhere else. But they had asked me about how to stay motivated. Sometimes they're having problems motivating themselves. And you have to... Oh, this was at San Diego Comic-Con. Yeah. You gotta love drawing. You gotta love storytelling. You gotta love art. If you don't, it's gonna be a rough road. Because as a professional artist, you are not always working on stuff that you either... projects that you... Not every project that you work on is a dream project. There are going to be times where you're going to get an assignment and you might not be a big fan of that. So part of it is also finding other things, small things, and being motivated too. It's not like, man, every day I want to draw. Every day I got to draw. You know, it's not necessarily that kind of level of enthusiasm every time. But look, you have to... I tell a lot of young artists, treat it as if any other kind of craft, right? I mean, it's a craft, right? Treat it as if you think about a professional athlete. So LeBron James, Kobe Bryant. And maybe not even like a LeBron James or Kobe Bryant, but maybe like the 10th, 11th, 8th, 9th, if you're in the starting five, if you're the first man off the bench, the sixth man, or if you're the 10th guy, 11th or 12th guy on the team, you might not be getting that minutes, but you're still pro. All of these athletes, professional athletes, started at a very young age playing sports. So there is a level of time needed to build hand-eye coordination, strategy, thought process, brain processing. And so it takes a lot of time, right? So every time you start drawing, not every drawing that you do is going to be in a museum or in a book or used for print or illustration. A lot of times you're going to make a lot of mistakes. Even myself as a professional, I still make a ton of mistakes. Look at how much I erased and redrew this a couple of times already. So as a professional athlete too, if you look at it from a basketball perspective, not every time they play is a game, right? How many times does an athlete, a professional athlete, high school athlete, how much of it when they play is actually practice? How much of those practices are filled with things that are not as glamorous as a slam dunk or a three-point shot to win the game? Most of the time it's dribbling, it's passing, it's boxing out, it's doing different drills, it's doing defensive slides up and down the court until your hamstrings and legs are so sore you can't even walk up and down stairs afterwards. Some of it is like running. You're jogging. You're doing endurance drills. You're dribbling with both hands on two balls. You're never going to do that in a real game, but what does that do? That helps you gain by dribbling two balls at the same time. Hand-eye coordination, dribbling skills, ability to use your brain to process both hands moving at the same time, controlling different things. Everything has a specific reason to it. So it's all practice. And unless you are like Allen Iverson, where you are so extremely talented, but even Allen Iverson, when he was young, still had to practice. It wasn't until he got to the pros, when he became a professional, that then practice became a different level of work. And that's something that I think, especially younger artists, need to understand, that when Allen Iverson gave that famous, oh, the birds are up here. Ooh, could we have another opportunity to win? When Allen Iverson gave that famous practice, he was already a pro. I think they had already, if not gone to the NBA Finals already. So that's a whole other different level, right? When you're young, you're starting out, you do have to practice. You do have to play a lot of games. You do have to lift weights. You do have to eat properly. You have to train yourself in entirety. So sometimes for an artist, well, what's dribbling, what's passing, because if I'm doing this kind of drawing, this is like a slam dunk, right? Actually, I don't even like this drawing anymore. I might have to start over. Better on this side, maybe. Maybe that's just the angle, too, of the camera. So what is dribbling or passing or defensive slides for an artist? Well, it's sitting down, maybe drawing circles. Or drawing, if you have a can of soda on the table, drawing from real life. The more you draw, it becomes a muscle memory. I remember now what a can looks like from pure memory. Now, there's also specifics to the can. The lid. Not only the flip lid thing, but how it attaches. And there's usually a couple lines. It's the dark. There's a lip thing here. So the more you study these things, details, and then based on if there's a light source coming this way, you know that this line is going to be a little bit darker. This inner line is going to be a little bit darker. It's going to be a little bit here. This is all from memory, but this is also from training. This is having spent time putting in the hours, drawing stuff that's boring, right? Everybody wants to shoot three-pointers. Everybody wants to do slam dunks or trick shots. Nobody wants to work on the dribbling stuff. But I will bet you, when Allen Iverson was young, he spent days dribbling. Spent days dribbling around, walking around. If he's going to school, if he's going anywhere with his friends, he had a basketball on him. He's dribbling, he's doing all these things. So that by the time he became a professional, around 20, 18, 19, 20, he spent 1 year at Georgetown. So 18, became a pro maybe at 19. He had accumulated all these 10,000 hours of proper training. And so even this is like a little wonky. And if that's, depending on if it's further up, if the light source is further up, the shadow is going to be a little bit smaller. If the camera is down here, it's going to cast a wider shadow. So there's all these things. Oh, you guys can't even see it.